Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition. Another edition? The first edition. This is the second qualifier match of the Super Metroid Link to the Past Combo Randomizer co-op race, where the co-op tournament, I should say, where we have two players on each team. Now, we currently have 14 players entered into the qualifier, and we are featuring currently on the right side is Team Crockpot, and on the left side is Team Will Cut Grass for Rupees. I am Jagger G, and with me on comms is Scoopula. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited for this one. I love this game. It's a fun game, and it's so confusing and ridiculous and volatile. And I'm excited to see things go horribly. I mean, to see these players perform really well and put on a good show.
Yeah, and I've no doubt they will. They got some of the better runners in the game here for us, so should be good.
These should be off in roughly 30-40 seconds, and this is a really interesting format. In this case, it's a 2v2 tournament, so they're going to be playing. They're all going to be playing the same seed. Each player individually has the same seed, and in those seeds, they're going to be sharing information with their co-op partner. Out of fairness to people with less access for one way or another, they're going to not be allowed to watch any streams during their race. They're just going to have to communicate verbally or textually, however they can, and just they have to kind of trust what they hear instead of what they see.
Yeah, so the nature co-op, which what you're going to see is pretty early and pretty often divergence, so that they can cover as much ground as they can, especially in the early game.
So personally, when my co-op partner and I play, we usually designate one person to go through and check Morph Ball first. I wonder if these players will have a similar or different approach, if they'll both go into Link to the Past first and divide there.
I would expect it. That's what me and my one partner did when we played it, and it just became a natural system. So yes, sure enough, the one runner from each side is MM2 and Aussie are both going to go ahead and check Morph Ball, and more than likely, this is hard logic. So yeah, they're going to check the Green E-Tank ceiling as well.
Yeah, it's very valuable. In the first qualifier race that was done, this is the second out of 4 that are leading up to the tournament. And in the first one, there actually wound up being a mirror in the ceiling, which was very useful for whoever got it. And it kind of, for me personally, it kind of held me back. So we'll see what goodies lie here for today.
So on the left side, we got a quick map check, and of course, I'm not good at seeing all of those. I did see a regular crystal on Eastern and a red on Desert. I didn't catch Hair, and we do have a Morph Ball on the ceiling, just a little bit off the beaten path.
That's especially good for a team situation, because a lot of times players will team up with like a Link to the Past veterans will tend to team up with Super Metroid veterans, and vice versa. And all these players today are pretty well versed in both games. However, they tend to favor one over another. So that's a big reason why we're going to be seeing Aussie just kind of sticking through Super Metroid for the next several minutes while Solski scours the Link to the Past, and vice versa for MM2 cartridge and Farfalu.
So, want to mention if we saw this is going to be this would be a real interesting solo seed, seeing as we had multiple very required items in Super Metroid Retro Print. That's normally something people take about 15-20 minutes to check, so Power Glove at Alpha Missile specifically.
Wow, yeah, that's quite a bit of... It may cause for some back and forth. It's going to be hard to... it's going to cause kind of a divide in the race participants, I think. The nature of the randomizer is just the strategy you employ may or may not benefit you, depending on the seed.
So I imagine the Zelda runners at top right and bottom left are going to go ahead and clear out the easy stuff, see if there's anything real good in there, maybe even something for Metroid before they go to Metroid and get their Morph Ball, but I don't see them waiting too terribly long to do so. Nice one try, Alcatraz from MM2.
That's a bit interesting. I noticed Aussie walking over to the castle, and he's on the way. He appeared to be taking intentional damage. Looks like he's trying to set up for a specific tier of tree pulls. The tree pulls in Zelda are pretty interesting in that normally there are 3 tiers of prizes you get, and depending on how many enemies you kill and whether or not you take damage, you can set up specific tiers to just what in the randomizer is a random prize, and you can just kind of verify with your partner between what the prizes are.
So, although generally runners are starting to get away from this, at least in the standalone Zelda, well, I was going to say Solsky looked like he was going to do, he's just farming up some money, I thought he's going to check the lumberjack tree. He might still. Usually, this gets put off until it's either on the way to the mountain, or if you have boots or something like that, it's just an E-tank, I believe, so probably ain't gonna be seeing that.
So I didn't quite catch what tier 3 was, but I noticed tier 2 is hearts and tier 1 is blue rubies, so it looks like not great farming potential there. But farming usually doesn't come into play that often, but sometimes it could provide a pretty nice start to the seeds, given Kakariko needs several bombs and 100 rupees to full clear everything you normally can in Sphere 1.
So MM2 tried the quick hula hand since he had the power glove already. I guess it didn't go right first time. I mean, you have the option of doing that as opposed to continuing to the fairy drop screen away, but you got it this time. Just a minute or two, you have to redo things.
Yeah, it's interesting. He opted to go down the grave, the grave hole in the sanctuary shop instead of what people often do is they go to the right over to the fairy cave by the river, and you could just jump down into the water several times, and it pretty much guarantees you get the Hulan room. It's basically caused by the camera being offset and not really knowing where to place Sleek when you enter.
Yeah, real rare you can do it the other way this early, but Glove will do that for you. It was worth a shot, I say.
So we got gravity suit, we got spring ball, and we got cane in the mini Moldorm cave. That's very valuable already.
Farfaloo is a speed booster. I missed the pickup on that one, but it's a lot of stuff early.
Nice.
Tell you what.
Yeah, also known as magic pancakes. The gravity suit is gonna make things much nicer in Meridia, where you could go without gravity suit, and you could be required to do so in hard logic, but they won't have to this time. It's such a tough decision to make when you just don't know if you have to.
So for the next couple of minutes, we're going to see a lot of repeats. But MM2, what is that? Oh, that's just regular arrows. I thought it was silvers. I was going to say, yeah, he's still got to do Moldorm Cave and everything else.
Little surprised Farfaloo and Nest Cartridge are checking the same checks at the same time. Usually people try to split that up, but this is a pretty common start anyway. And also, the mini Moldorm Cave is common for both players to get just because of how many items are there and how often just energy could be there and or hearts that could be valuable for both players, especially if you're not feeling super confident with like low percent conditions.
Well, unfortunately, we had a nice rod cave check already. It's just the E-tank, but nobody has Zora money to get up that way from here. Farfaloo may. I know he can't. He doesn't have a glove. I figured he's going to pick up some money on the way out. But his teammate has a glove, not him.
Okay, a double check on the map from Solsky, and it appears the red crystal indeed is in desert, and 2 blue crystals in the other 2.
Seen a lot of bomb shopping, which is okay because it's your only weapon at this point. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that and just opening doors, opening bombable doors is pretty important in early game. And just having 10 bombs is probably going to be enough for the rest of the game.
Is that a morph ball bomb in Chicken Hut? Or I visualize that too.
I see. The speed booster was in the well. And yeah, probably. Maybe not. With this many E-tanks, that's basically Shine Spark fuel for most Super Metroid players. That's gonna probably get them through. Oh, hook shot up in the power bombs and landing site, and that's probably gonna get them through the gauntlet, so they can check 3 items as well over here. Although, looks like Nest Cartridge is going to play it a bit safe and just use power bombs instead. Using up a ton of energy is pretty risky in here because the acid just drains energy so fast.
This is not a poor seed by any stretch, at least not yet. I mean, you could end up with a late hunt, but you get into Super Metroid and already a hook shot to go along with everything else. And for Zelda, at least for lack of boots, that does let you move around a little faster. It's nice to have just for that, even if nothing else.
I always kind of like this strat where you jump up against the wall and you morph and plant a power bomb and then unmorph to just keep you kind of suspended and do a little unmorphed bomb jump to not touch the acid.
This is one of those things that the natural lag of the original console helps to execute.
a big reason this game is so popular. There's just so much swag.
And it took me doing this a handful of times to realize just how much stuff you could do for the kind of game it was. You know. Now for 10 supers and Gauntlet, I wouldn't call that a waste, especially since we have never any idea whether the charge beam is going to show up or not. So, you always like to see them.
So now that we have Morph Ball, we have Glove, we have Hook Shot, Cane, Speed Booster, Gravity Suit. We got quite a... Oh, we got Mirror now.
We got Silvers and a Mirror already.
Yeah, now that I think about it, with that Morph Ball and with Supers, they can go on down to Norfair, which gives them mountain access, so they could actually get to Hera that way. Oh, there's bombs in early Supers.
There they are. Now, of course, this room is funny because any runner in any race is going to do it, whether they have Speed Booster or not. High jump at EP Big Chest. But it's funny because it's hard logic. It doesn't matter whether you have it or not, you need to do it while you're here, but they happen to have Speed Booster, so just all this stuff already. Take your pick.
Yeah, those Silvers are pretty nice as well. It's not necessarily required to beat A Link to the Past, but it sure speeds some bosses up considerably.
Yeah, plus if you're on 2 swords, you don't maybe spend as long looking for a third. I know probably a lot of people don't anyway, but I do.
Nest Cartridge appears to be trying to farm some power bombs off of these frogs. Power bombs are pretty handy, although maybe they forgot they have regular bombs now, so they can clear out stuff pretty, like, without wasting too much ammo.
You know, some stuff you do is so uncommon to have bombs, especially this early. Especially that you might just not occur to you.
That happens to me all the time. I just use power bombs left and right, and then I'm like, uh-oh, I might run out of power bombs. And then my co-op partner is like, didn't you find bombs already?
And then the other thing you're going to see with that is a spring bomb. Another thing we have, no button on the tracker, but that's easy to forget you have too. And if you're MM2, it's very easy to forget you have it. He doesn't like it.
Yeah, it's one of those items that's somewhat of a meme, but it's actually legit really valuable for speedrunners, and just kind of undervalued normally.
And it can actually be a required thing concerning Meridia for hard logic, but not at this point with the gravity, but sometimes you just have to pick it up.
Yeah, especially for hard logic, that's right. There's a lot of things you can do. You could basically fly with Spring Ball. You could jump like nearly twice as high. In Meridia, 3 times.
Solski, okay. Hey, yeah. I don't know if you already got that Ice Roddy tank. It's early. You probably do want a few, but whether he did or not. He's gonna, I guess, do Zora? Bobo first, then Zora. Not a bad set of checks to do.
So this is a very precise super missile Aussie just shot, and that Nest cartridge already shot. Basically, you wanna fire a super off screen to hit a super missile block to destroy it, but as soon as the super missile is off screen, it despawns. But if you're on just exactly the right pixel, it'll hit the block before despawning. So that's I think like every 4 pixels you're aligned with, you can just break into the back of Spore Spawn's item early.
It's one of those things too. I know this isn't something we're supposed to do a lot of, but it's just funny to me because I run at the wall when I fire. I've never learned to do it the right way, where you just find the pixel, but it works. So you know.
Yeah, for sure. Anything that works. Similarly, Aussie just broke through the wave beam gate, the gate with the button on the wrong side. You're supposed to need wave beam, but of course, because of off-screen shenanigans, you can just kind of unload that gate and shoot the super through where it would be and hit the button on the other side. And there's a very convenient setup for that too, where if you don't have high jump, if you have high jump, you could just jump and shoot when you're against the wall. If you don't have high jump, you can jump into the doorway and turn, which will kind of shift you over a few pixels. And then jump and turn again from inside the door. And then you'll get high enough and you'll be exactly the right pixel to shoot the super.
Anybody who watches enough of this stuff will find out that the way things were meant to be is just a suggestion.
Absolutely.
We don't worry too much about details.
I would like some of the minor glitches to be implemented into logic in hard mode for this. That would be awesome.
For Zelda?
For Zelda, yeah.
Yeah. I guess the pattern just doesn't exist for it. I actually thought it did for a while. It goes straight from no glitches to overworld. We got a Billy Mays hammer and a shield. This dude is selling some stuff today.
Yeah, Zelda is so open that we really got to break down what glitches are and are not allowed. Whereas Super Metroid is open anyway, so why allow one glitch and not just most glitches?
Yeah, there's something else I learned. A handful of randomizers for Super Metroid and just a few for Link to the Past. It's just, I guess, different opinions, different ways of doing things, so it became easier, I think, for Total to build this one when you have all these logic options available. Solski does not want a shield, which is fine. I used to always pick them up, but I don't even bother anymore. I guess there's some lag associated with it, but
Yeah, there are a few instances, especially like in Swamp when you're draining the water, if you have the shield visible, there's considerable lag. And also just when walking around, sometimes you'll get more unnoticeable lag, but it's kind of like all over the place.
yeah, I synced a GT opening, Zelda GT, with somebody at one point, and mine was just like a few frames behind by the end of it, and I think that the other person did not have a shield, and I did, so when you gotta go fast, you gotta go fast. So.
Yeah, and on top of that, just not getting the pickup text box and just having to wait that out. It's only like a second, but it's a second that you just don't have to wait for. But for some newer players, for sure, if you just don't feel comfortable without a fireball shield for blind, for example, just go ahead and get the shield. It's fine. Living is faster than a little bit of lag. Also, you're making some nice use of some mockballing and boost ball or spring ball to maintain speed going through the spiky room.
Speed. He's gonna try to speedball the walkway. He probably did. It just didn't work. Got to do the swag.
Got everyone in Super Metroid now. I guess the Link to the Past has ran dry.
Yeah, Morph Ball can put you in here for quite a while.
I'm guessing they're probably just gonna pick up their mirror and silver arrows and probably hop back onto Death Mountain for Hera. Especially with the hammer. Once they get that hammer, they're gonna have access to East Death Mountain, which has so many items. Very good Fantoon fight on Aussie's end.
Yeah, was that 3 or 4 cycles? Not even. Pretty solid.
One of these days I need to learn how to fight bosses.
Yeah, Fantoon still gives me some heck. The quick eyeball, I can never hit it.
It was a good while before I was able to hit it, like, when it appeared in the first place, like, at all. I would always have to wait for it to become visible again in this little invisible phase.
Khalees, you missed. I would say not much, but they haven't covered much ground, but they have picked up a lot of stuff, as you can see, including some things that you can't. But basically cleared Link to the Past Light World, more or less. I think they might have not done Zora. That's about it.
So what a lot of Super Metroid players try to do with Fantoon is what's called a Doppler strat with the missiles, where they're trying to hit Fantoon in very quick intervals. And to accomplish this, you have a fixed kind of minimum, like a minimum cooldown on the missile. Well, a cooldown timer on the missile, so you can't just mash the missile button. But if you were to just stand still and fire at Fantoon, it's gonna disappear after so much damage. But it disappears after a certain amount of time once its iframes run out. So if you can hit it again before it fades out, that would be really beneficial. And they can actually accomplish this by walking forward as they're firing missiles So although they are still firing missiles at the same rate, it's still hitting sooner because they're firing even closer each shot.
Yeah, it's always funny to me. You have your Metroid runners and you have your Zelda runners, and there doesn't seem to be a ton of crossover. I mean, here's where you're going to find it, right? But to me, like, you can't find anything in Zelda as hard to do as the easiest thing in Metroid. That's just me. But I'm just listening to all this and I'm like, wait, what?
There are a few hard things, but even there's stuff like double pixel perfect bomb jumps that are pretty hard. But on the other hand, everyone learns how to do them just because of how useful they are. Like the Ice Palace bomb jump, you need to. Well, I think that's a 2 pixel window for the bomb. But for the hammer jump in Pod, where you just bomb yourself to go straight to the big chest across the collapsing bridge, that's a 2 pixel perfect. That's a pixel perfect bomb placement followed by a pixel perfect positioning to get bombed, and that's something that just everyone learns because of how much time it saves.
Yeah, and Aussie coming up with Dark World access here at 26 minutes. Pretty good for SMZ3. More seed dependent than anything in a bottle at Wreckship D tank. That, because it's the first, MM2 is going to go ahead and do a sick kid check potentially later on.
It's a pretty nice reward here in Eastern Death Mountain, kind of as expected. We get the ocarina as well as the bow. It's gonna open up a little bit more.
We're still pouring on the stuff. It's gonna be a quick one.
Oh, man, those mini Moldarms are expert dodgers.
Yeah. Oh. We got a red crystal on. That's all I saw. Red crystal on pod. I did not catch the other pendants. I think one of them was on Meyer, but our trackers will have it covered. Matty Walker and Bright Beginner.
Nice fire rod in the wreck ship. Oh man, I'm sure Solski's wishing he had that right about now. Well, probably hoping he's not gonna need it actually.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a pretty wild trick Solski's going for, where you place bombs. This is another double pixel perfect trick that's become a bit more commonplace. It was fairly recently discovered, like a year or two ago, where you just place bombs in specific pixels, and then you position yourself on a specific pixel, and that clips you just the tiniest bit inside the pot. And then you could just hook shot through it, and then when you walk up, you soft lock because you messed up. What you need to do is tap left which kind of tries to eject you from the leftward wall that you're walking into by pushing you right, and then you can align yourself with the hole in the pot, and then drop in.
Yeah, this is that's not a good feeling right there. Whenever, because you can't even mirror out at that point. But he's got the mirror, but he's not going straight back. He's going the long way. So
I think I did that last race. Not sure. I've done it a couple times recently where I just autopiloted. I just assumed I wasn't gonna get it, so I tried to go up and left again, and I went up first and just soft locked.
Yeah, easy to get paradox. That's fair. The thing with that Herapod, I can't do it the way they're doing it. I tried. Boots, though, I can wing it and get it pretty quick, so those are nice.
So you do need hookshot to do it. Boots make it significantly easier. You can basically just align yourself with just touch the small key door, and then just hold down and right, and then just tap the hookshot button and at a certain time, and you can just kind of wing it, and you'll just get in eventually.
Just notice the half magic and paradox go with all the other goodies, which is not insignificant. You know, I'm thinking you're going to see me at least do some stuff where I'm like, why didn't they do this or that? They have this or that, except because, you know, trying to watch all these screens, I forget who exactly picked up what. I mean, I should just watch the trackers, but you know, if it happens, I apologize.
You got 4 players and 4 trackers. It's hard to keep track of all 8. And Nest cartridge tanking some damage through the bowling alley here. These spikes, they normally do 60 damage. That damage is reduced with Varia suit, but in the combo rando, is specifically not reduced with gravity suit. Normally in the vanilla game, gravity suit just gives you the full damage reduction. So basically Varia is unnecessary besides for Mother Brain. But in this, it's actually separated.
Yeah, and being the case, a fun fact: these 3 checks here are actually out of logic, normal or hard. If you don't have the E-tanks available for it, I think it's 2, maybe 3. But you can get an X-ray check from Aussie. This is one of these ones that takes a few minutes to do,
Nice.
especially this way without the grapple or space jump or anything. But if you miss something good, you're not feeling too good.
So he did some pretty cool tricks where you just take damage from the waivers, and whenever you take damage, it's kind of a neat mechanic built into the game where if you're holding jump and then you hold backwards, as soon as you take damage, you get just flung backwards at high velocity. So you can kind of escape damage easier, and you could you could use any mechanic you can use to your advantage and just fly across large gaps with it instead.
Yeah, the simple, easy way would be to do bomb jumps off the spikes at the end, but we're racing here. We can't be bothered to spend a lot of time. So Fantoon down for Solsky, not a bad fight either.
Yeah, nicely done.
Aussie's gonna go ahead and break the Meridia pipe now, I guess. 10 power bombs, that's not a bad idea, just so you don't end up one short later, but put off actually going in there for a little bit.
And Solsky knows exactly what's here in the wreck ship area and is just going to skip everything. It's a really big part of co-op tournaments is just knowing exactly where things are and what you don't have to waste time on.
If you can pay good attention, keep good notes, you save yourself some trouble. Because when I've run, I know I've repeated some stuff that was avoidable, but it's just a skill, another skill you gotta have.
And yet at the same time, it makes it harder because you will wind up skipping a lot of health pickups because they're not necessarily required.
Yeah, if you're on a route to a required item, you're gonna get the stuff that makes you comfortable, but if not, you can't afford it, so basically it's low percent practice to a point. Quick kill from Aussie for Kraid. Farfalu gets Fantoon as well. M2 on his way to Kraid, so everybody's moved on.
Nice. Yeah, another issue like my partner and I ran into last race was that I found Charge Beam, but it was behind Crocmire and it didn't really have much else. So my partner wanted to skip it, but that means you need a considerable amount of ammo to beat Mother Brain, and they wound up getting through it, but they needed a lot of ammo along the way. We had to kind of route out where our super missiles were.
Nice French vanilla Varia there. That'll simplify the next step of things if he chooses not to go back to Meridia right now. MM2 is going to do some stand-up at the club. I don't know. I've never gotten a quick kill, and it's not a terribly big deal, I don't think.
It's one of those things where you can get it as long as you don't try to understand it, I guess. The more I try to study this, the worse success rate I have at it.
It'd be a perfect explanation for why I don't get it. I heard an X-ray check. I didn't see what that was. Obviously, nothing good.
That was a missile, yeah. Which they don't have charge beam yet. Well, missiles aren't necessarily that important, so that they're mainly looking for supers. But
Yeah,
if you don't find enough supers, you could want missiles.
Yeah, for these guys, they ain't terrifically bad because more than likely you're going to see a bunch of Zeb skips whenever we get to Mother Brain. So
True, yeah. Although it would sure help to find ice to do it with, though.
I don't know if you need it for the speed one, but that one's not easy, regardless.
Yeah, they could just use Speed Booster alone and get the Zeb skip. It's just hard.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun.
You need a really good stutter 3-tap. So Speed Booster works pretty funky in Super Metroid because it has a run button, and it uses the run button to check if it increments your progress towards getting a Speed Booster. It only checks whether you're pressing run on specific frames of your running animation. So if you're only tapping the run button on those specific frames, you can get a shine charge in significantly shorter distance than you otherwise would. In most cases that it's used, you basically just walk forward a little bit and then press run, and you have plenty of room. But sometimes it's just very tight.
I missed the fire rod. I know Farflu isn't the first one to pick it up, but I guess I wasn't paying attention to that.
It was behind. It was in the gravity suit spot. Yeah.
That's one of those things that's required for at minimum 2 dungeons in Zelda, so you almost always need it.
Pretty sure Solsky has it, right?
Yeah, anybody who did bowling has it. I know somebody did bowling. So.
It's always possible people may forget to tell their partner of major items. I was playing with a friend once who's really good at Super Metroid, but hardly ever plays A Link to the Past. So they just weren't really recognizing when they got major items for A Link to the Past.
Yeah, and I know you said somebody, because Solsky did Fantoon, I know you said somebody skipped Rick, like the rest of Rick's ship, so if her tracker's going to enlighten us, because I'm actually not sure.
If that was Solsky, it could be a problem. I thought I saw him doing attic. Maybe I was looking at someone else.
Well, one of the things, just to mention, we don't have quick swap like all the other Z3 randomizer modes in here. I mean, some miss it, some don't, but because of that, we're going to see a menu at some point to confirm whether or not he does. I think, did I just see it? Oh, that was Aussie. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see it at some point. Is that a mushroom? Main Street? What is that?
And Aussie gets the bomb jump for a Harapot. Very nicely done. There are like 4 methods to do that. At least 4 positions you can do that. They're all double pixel perfect, and it just kind of depends on which one you personally learn.
Farflu, unfortunately, ran into some trouble there. I'm not sure how far that's going to set him back, but
not too far back. Looks like they saved right outside the red tower.
So that was a wet mushroom in Meridian, also some soaked boots. So
I kind of wonder if that death was intentional. I'm not really sure. Kind of looked like it might have been.
Yeah, I took my eye off. He might have already done X-ray, honestly.
They did, yeah.
Alright. That makes more sense.
There was a missile pack on Moldor. I'm not sure if we saw the other item in Tower of Hera. Well, either way, okay, yeah, Aussie's just leaving. He does have Fire Rod, so he definitely can go back for the basement, but if you got 2 items, you just really, there's no use. It's a map or compass.
Solsky missing the spark through Mount Everest. Gonna go ahead with a gravity jump here. I don't know if he just jumped in the wrong opening or what. I don't know. Thing can be funny sometimes. Yeah, everybody knows when you're pro, you double beat. I did it for a while when I was doing the main tournament for Zelda qualifiers. I got yelled at my first restream, so I was like, yeah.
When I play standalone, I like to set it to random. So you never know.
Yes, I mean, it gives you a little warning if you're watching a bunch of stuff. So any help is welcome help. But if you don't got any hearts anytime anywhere soon, you're gonna have to put up with it. Uncle with the vanilla. Well, that was probably already done, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Just noticed. You'll see some sandpit checks, so you're gonna see, it's going backward, I guess. Oh, he's crystal flashing.
Boots on Mama Totori's grapple item. It's very nice.
There's shield and an ether medallion at Aqueduct. Is that what they call this? I think.
Yep.
Cool. I didn't mess it up. Medallion becomes necessary. I did one of these not long ago where it was in that slot, the one you couldn't see, and ended up being required for some dungeon.
So to note for anyone new to the randomizer, the medallion required for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are randomized, so it's not entirely sure which one you're going to need, or even if you even need 2, they could just both require the same medallion. So we need to pick up all of them or just check which one is required first. It will actually the emblem in front, so you could just check it.
Yeah, I was going to check tape mad, but yeah, if MM2 has Varia, then yeah. It's almost like an NMG run. If you have Varia, it must have done great, right?
Master using it, you could have this. We got flippers underwater in Meridia.
Water item in the water. Now, if that gets you out of here too, into Zelda, if you continue on to Dragon this way, so
That's true.
it's a nice find. Wave beam at Eastern. So yeah, both sand pits being required can slow you down a little, but at least you know everybody's going to have to do it.
And Solsky making use of another mechanic where if you're moving forward when you fire a super missile, it pushes the super missile further forward. It has a greater horizontal velocity, and it can just clip right through gates and hit buttons from the wrong side. It only works if the buttons are on the left side, though, if you're shooting from the right side.
Unfortunately, minus a charge in a plasma or just a gravity, or not gravity, a grapple beam, then you got to do Dragon the hard way. Although Aussie's making nice and quick work of her, so.
Mitts and right sand pit, wow. Both sand pits required today.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the flippers necessarily would be, being that Swamp's a pendant. I mean,
good point, yeah.
Possibly, but I'm sure everybody's going to check. But, well, no, it's co-op, right? So, yeah, one teammate may not get them, depending. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. It is logically required for Ice Palace, but none of these players are going to absolutely need it for Ice.
Yeah, in fact, even I'm to where I forgot about that. So.
Fake clippering in the Zora's the Hylia Lake Hylia is just one of the first things people typically learn when they're learning Randomizer.
One of the oldest tricks, which is why it's one of the few that were patched out with international releases. Still do a bunch of stuff that ain't one. We haven't seen Quake, and we haven't seen requirements for either of the dungeons that are relevant to it, although TR's... Actually, no, those are both pendants, so you may not even care about coins at this point.
Interesting. I'm not sure Aussie picked up Ether. May just be hoping it's not required. Looks like Solsky's gonna be checking on that information right now.
Teamwork, they call it. But if it's needed, it's at least not too hard to get back to whenever you have the warp from Dark Lake. MM2's has a bombo, so I guess we miss that.
Probably. Interesting.
It's knowledge of 2 anyway, so if dips into those dungeons are required, we're not too worried about getting into them.
We got a moldy grape plant with eggplant.
Yep. It's the tough eggplant with the acquisition of the red mail.
That was nice though. A lamp in the hookshot cave, the last item.
That thing likes to bury itself deep sometimes, especially.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they know that people don't care about it.
Must be really high prioritized. It's the randomizer places items from the back to the front, basically. Like it just places items, and then it determines what items that item would lock. So it places items before that, and then just keeps going until the start. And so typically, lamp is one of the first items placed, so it can be pretty much anywhere, and usually is late game.
Mm-hmm. So SMZ3 is one of those things that'll give you a nice long time between acquisition of a flute and actually turning the thing on. But both teammates on the right are going to go ahead and do that, help move around now that they're back into Zelda. Also give them Meyer access, a couple checks, 3 checks with a mirror, plus possibly the dungeon if required. Although in SMZ3 you can also get there through one particular door in Lower Norfair.
Interesting. Solsky just went up to the potion shop to buy a potion, and Aussie just turned in the mushroom to get screw attack right after.
Yeah, so you might see a return trip, because it's a nice thing to have.
It's pretty quick to get back to. Although, I don't know, maybe Solsky already found it. No, I don't think so. Maybe.
Yeah, I actually thought for a minute it was one of the buttons we didn't have, but we actually do. So there's not a lot of progression tied to it, typically. This is just now me noticing what Saha had, and Powder ain't terrible.
She's a nice trick by Solsky. We got him doing his best to walk his way through a wall. So basically, when you're coming out of a door, you kind of get what's referred to as a door state, where if you're holding a direction, like if you're holding any direction besides left, you're going to be forced to walk right. So if you're holding up or down, it kind of pushes you a bit into the wall, and you keep continuously walking forward. And then when you use the cane, that'll kind of like, that'll make you turn around in place, partially in the wall. And then you can place a block like 2 pixels away from the wall, and then walk down to force yourself to walk through the wall. And it just extends the door state while you're pushing the Samaria block. And because of shenanigans, I guess, you just continue walking until you're on the other side of the wall. Might not have been the clearest explanation, but it's a really wonky glitch.
It was very mechanical, and it's funny because it's something that I guess was only discovered within the last year or so, and I swear back in the day it was something that I thought could have been possible, but I wasn't good at figuring that stuff out, just because it's like the one door in the game with an obstacle one tile away.
Yeah, there are a couple of similar situations. There's one situation in Meyer where you can dash through a railing that's just outside of a door frame.
I'll apologize to him later, but I'm just glad to know that there's a trick I can do faster than him.
I mean, it happens. Sometimes you just miss it. Sometimes, like you could just tap down and see if you turn or not. And if you don't turn, then you got it. You just continue holding down. Or up. Up or down works. There's a neat trick on Aussie's end where you kind of do a similar thing where you just retain speed while walking upstairs.
The auto stair thing. Here I thought he was going to do the hammer jump to go along with that, but less of an issue with the mirror.
Well, if you don't have big key, that's an issue.
Oh, you don't? Okay, I didn't have any idea.
Me neither, to be honest, but that would explain it. He does not. Okay.
I'm kind of halfway watching Pod Mad, and it didn't look like anything good, honestly. Kind of rare, but Stay Puffs got away from Solsky there, but no matter, he cleans them up nicely.
Gets an ice beam for it, fitting.
It's definitely.
I usually like to slash them a second time after spinning them out of their starting position. And that lets me hit all of them with a fire rod shot against the wall.
Yeah, long as you have a 2-sword or better, it's something you can do. Speed yourself up a little. Don't forget that if you have a 1-sword, don't forget to not do that, or you end up getting run over. Most of these Dark World bosses are immune to fighter sword slashes.
Another option some people do is they'll hold their sword out inside its sprite, and then as soon as it's about to be vulnerable, they'll tap the dash button. And when you're dashing, you do normal sword. You do the same tier sword damage, like slash damage instead of poke damage.
Huh. To remember that one.
And that also kind of freezes your charge state so that you can continue charging your sword while you're slashing them.
So Solsky, it being a pennant, I guess at least for the time being, is not concerned with how to get into Meyer. I figured it'd just be a quick check, but when I was watching, I didn't see him actually do it, so we might get that later when he's done with Desert, but... Farfaloo tries to speed himself up just a little bit through pyramid area, and you gotta love as soon as you try to do that, one of those rocks pops out at you. That's a sword upgrade on pyramid.
That's a nice find.
Although 2 other people already have one, so I'm sure we just missed it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing Solsky is probably kind of in dungeon clearing mode, whereas Aussie's going to be looking for more of the broader checks, just because Solsky has Aussie has Dragon down and Solsky is just a tad bit behind. You kind of pick and choose depending on who's ahead or behind, who actually does checks.
It's a good strategy too, because in this way, if you get toward go mode before the for the purposes of explanation, we'll call it the rear teammate, gets toward half of these dungeons, they can go mode them if there's nothing good in them, which saves a lot of time. So.
Yeah, I get to do a lot of go moding.
But when you're racing solo, you have a balance between doing overworld checks and then doing your open crystals. Depending on which dungeon they concern, you might be spending a lot of extra time.
Solsky making sure to sprinkle a little bit of magic on the witch as a thank you.
Just wanted a better screw attack, trying to upgrade level up. That's a thing, right?
Sure.
So we have, with the exception of Farfaloo's Eastern, 2 crystals a pop for everybody, and 2 bosses out of Metroid, so definitely too close to call at this point, by any stretch, but...
So Aussie has 3.
3? Oh, you did, okay. Yeah, Aussie's... You're gonna get used to Aussie being the one to lead the pack in most cases.
Bombos was in Cave 73, just south of the bomb shop.
Could admit I'm not familiar with that term. Which one was that?
Cave 73. It's the one. It's normally a ferry in the light world. It's between the swamp palace and the bomb shop. You gotta bomb the wall. It's got 4 chests and a generous guy. A bat-like man, as the hints like to call him. Not to be confused with the bat, which is not a man. I guess.
For Zelda runners, it's Hype Cave, and I'm like, that. But I don't like that word anyway, so I think I'm gonna start using yours.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it was called Hype Cave back in the day when the logic was a bit new, and basically dense checks were gonna have just a ton of progression. So it wasn't uncommon for Hype Cave at the time to have 4 progression items.
Okay, so Aussie doesn't have, now I know what's going on, Aussie doesn't have the Pyramid Sword. Sword was at Precious by Dragon for everybody else, so.
Oh, okay.
At any rate, all teams now know about at least 3 swords, and that's all you really need, so. Well, you only need 2, but 3 is nice. And I'm too gonna try try some short charge strats on Dragon. He's getting a couple hits in, but
ideally, I've read you want to basically aim for the neck to do the most damage without getting a ton of chain damage yourself.
Solsky gonna go do the grapple, so it's 1,000 Ways to Die, SMZ3 edition. Up in here. Farfaloo minding their own business, taking out Helmasaur.
And NES cartridge, being able to take down Dragon with the Shine Spark, managed to kind of get a bit lucky and retained a blue suit from beating Dragon, which is going to allow them to charge a Shine Spark just whenever the heck they want. And they're going to be able to use that to just fly right through the reverse halfy room, as we call it. And there's the charge, there's the jump, there's the spark. Very fast.
If only I could comprehend any of that. But Solsti's gonna go take the warp out to Zelda by Dragon, and the Ice Palace is already done. I guess it's just the fastest way out.
Another sword and ice, nice.
Dang. Well, that's all of them then. Ganon free. What up, Spank?
So the swords were Uncle, the Pyramid Ledge, the Precious Room right before Dragon, and the Ice Palace Freezor Room, I think it was. Pretty convenient spots.
No 3 swords in GT today. So shame.
It's been severely nerfed over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I run this in Zelda, and it's hard to keep track of what the differences are between them. After I started to realize they were actually worse.
Yeah, the combo randomizer actually uses a bit of an older version of the Link to the Past logic, so some of the quirks are a couple of versions behind. For one thing, the item prize packs, whenever you defeat enemies, in vanilla Link to the Past, each type of enemy is gonna drop from a different drop table. And so in the randomizer, that was kind of taken out, and they were kind of combined into one general prize pool. And the combo randomizer adopted that logic, and then afterwards the standalone randomizer kind of put back in the prize packs but shuffled them, so you can figure out what the prize packs are for each enemy as you go, and then you could use that to your advantage later. Unfortunately, that hasn't quite made its way over to the combo rando.
So this is gonna be our first look at Thieves' Town, I suppose. The time isn't terrible, but usually see this a lot earlier. Yeah, we were thinking that the co-op decision was made to skip the flippers on the one side, just because that's the only thing you can't cheat through with them. And if there's something required in Swamp, which everybody will find out real late, then it's easy enough to just go back and get it.
That's a shame. I like Swamp Palace. Now that the diver down glitch has been found, kind of along the same vein as the icebreaker in Ice Palace to clip through the wall, and the Hera pot to just clip to the top of Hera from the bottom.
Yeah, you know what? I used to not like going into Swamp. I don't particularly like it either now, but TR is back up there with just seems like a time sink. No matter how you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That That being said, if I'm getting mirror and flippers and a hook shot early, I'm starting to worry. So as our tracker bright beginner tells us, given the late the 6-7 Dark World pendants, and this is something that throws me a lot, but given that, you can get into go mode for at least the length of the pass pretty darn easily, and it may already be.
Yeah, it's Pendant Turtle Rock, isn't it?
The only thing that's required among them all is cane, the red cane in the midst, and they have at least, well, they have both of those, so.
Depending on the medallion as well for Meyer. Wait, that's a pendant as well. Never mind.
Yeah, so even if that weren't the case, they pretty much have what they need. Just a matter of getting a Metroid done, which I guess is also basically go mode, with the possible exception of ammo. As I say that, you know, we're trying to figure it out. And Solsky's just going ahead and dealing with everything right away. Just a reserve tank from Ridley, but Ridley's out of the way, and that's 4 bosses for Solsky, so just slog through Zelda at this point. You still got to pick up at least a fire rod, but they do know where that is.
NES cartridge very wisely using a blue potion against a boss. This is a pretty... I always underestimate this boss when I fight it. It's like, it can die really quickly, or it can stall. Because an issue with Mothula is, although it only takes 4 slashes with the tempered sword, if you knock it into spikes, then it'll take the class 4 damage, I believe it's called, and that particular type of damage does nothing to Moth.
Yeah, so, I guess a one-time, or not a one-time, but the one instance of, like, if you have a gold sword, which in vanilla would not do any damage, well, they tweaked it here in the ROM hack, so it does do damage. However, like Jagger said, the spikes still do not, and they negate any damage that you dealt.
Mm-hmm. I believe the way they handled that in the randomizer is that they for that specific room, they treat the butter sword as the bacon sword. So I think spins still do no damage, but the slashes do damage. And it just takes 4 slashes or 8 fire rod shots.
So with no apparent charge beam yet, Solsky did a double pump on a missile pack, so most everybody, I think, at this point is still going to be looking for some of that on their way toward finishing these games, just to try and make life easier.
Yeah, they don't have charge beam.
You know, I've tended to find that it's something you can't count on seeing at all, because it's not logically required for anything else in the game, so either the randomizer puts it in front of you or it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing 35 missile capacity for Solsky right now. It's not enough.
Something 5, maybe a 65. We have a low-res preview stream to everybody who doesn't know. with Zeb Skip, it's close, you know, but a few more wouldn't hurt. Actually, with 35, you definitely want a few. 35 supers, you definitely want a few more.
I'm sure hoping Solsky goes back for that fire rod at some point. It's the one thing I think they're missing at this point, other than charge. Been informed in chat there are 2 super missiles in the gauntlet, so that's an option on the way to Mother Brain, on the way to Turian.
Yeah, 2 supers and $300. Some of the runners picked up. I don't remember who at this point. So whoever didn't, of course, has that available too.
And that's all crystals for Aussie.
You can see how a team works well together whenever one is loading up on Zelda and the other one is doing the scouting, basically. So it becomes a matter of Solsky just go mooting a bunch of dungeons, more or less. Meantime, MM2 is going to take care of Blind for his 4th, well on his way to getting done. Of note, and this doesn't mean a lot, especially in SMZ3, but I'm sorry, I forget their team name. Solsky Crockpot. They have Ice Beam, whereas MM2 and Farflu do not.
They will, though.
Oh, they do? Okay. I didn't know if they saw it or not.
They haven't yet. It is on Cold Stare, though. They're gonna be finding it.
Oh, that's right.
As well as their butter pretty soon.
I don't know why it is, but I can track, I can watch screens and remember stuff, but I can't talk and remember stuff.
Yeah, talking is hard.
This is something else. I'm thinking we're gonna see a subdue from at least Aussie.
Yeah, this has been pretty darn quick. They haven't really had to dip. Yeah, they haven't dipped any pendant dungeons at all.
Nope, don't even know what it takes to get in 2 of them. That's a good day at the office.
They didn't even do pendant Crocomire.
Wonder if the charge is down there. We ran a race with some of these guys the other day, and it was, but I don't suppose they're too concerned at this point.
Just hoping to find it along the way.
Yeah, when you're hunting a big key out of GT, you can run into some stuff like that. Charge included.
I'm always a little disappointed when I see people mirroring out of right side when they could just continue on to the boss. It looks so much cooler.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't see much.
I like those rooms leading to Armos from the right. They're kind of hard though. I can kind of understand people just wanting to prioritize checks instead of swag, I guess. That kind of makes sense. And just like that, there's the big key.
Yeah, and you tend to find out in the combo rando too, especially that once it goes on long enough, not that this one has, but typically once you get toward this point, you want to just get done.
Now, although they have the big key and enough small keys to go up the tower, they're just gonna take this opportunity because well, actually, this interesting case, the seeding is going to be based on average time of teams, whereas the tournament, I believe, is going to be ran on the first team to finish, which is a slight difference. In average time, I think it would be better for Aussie to just go up the climb and just finish as soon as they can. But they're kind of going in with the mindset of wanting to speed up the later player to get a final time, a lower final time.
Just I want to mention something. Chad's pointing out we haven't done a GT count at all, even informally. I find that funny because I mean, I think at this point, like, well, the thing is, nobody's thinking about it. You don't think about it on an hour and a half in SMZ3. I mean, this is something good. This is I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I guess it would still apply, but they're also streaming on a 10-minute delay, and I don't know. We wouldn't have a bot keeping track of guesses, but
No, usually, I mean,
it's kind of fun for chat.
Yeah,
to guess.
chat will pick up on it typically, and you'll see the numbers flood in, but this is just so early.
Yeah, and this was the first streamed qualifier.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I wasn't around for the other one.
I should probably learn some faster strats for Armel, so I usually go on the bottom right. I think that's slightly slower than starting from the middle.
Yeah, between what I like to call 2 and 3 is something that I reluctantly picked up, and if you can get the 5 shots and move over to the left quick enough, you can optimize it that way, but at any rate, that's 4 crystal, or no, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for Farfalu. Solsky just do EP too? I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So everybody's just going through the motions at this point.
And so, thinking about it, climbing GT at an hour and 27 minutes into the race is a pretty good time for Zelda on its own.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
This is both games finished in nearly an hour and a half.
And you'd normally think, maybe got a bunch of Metroid to do, but no, he's just got Ridley, which admittedly is
actually. I believe they already did Ridley.
Aussie did, I don't know, but
I saw someone do it.
Yeah. Aussie's just getting his Zelda done one way or another. Get it out of the way, don't gotta think about it. Ridley still does need done, it's the longest boss to get to and from, but still no more than, 7-8 minutes.
There we go, supers in the Moldorm 2 chest. This is gonna help.
Nothing you can argue about that.
That's at least enough ammo for... That should be enough ammo for both of them. Someone in chat said Aussie has enough ammo by this point. I trust him.
Yeah, I did work for the Metroid Rando League, and I still don't really know all the stuff you're supposed to know about that. So yeah, we'll go with that.
So Mother Brain takes 60 supers, or the equivalent of 180 missiles, I think. Because
I think
supers do 3 times damage.
Yeah, 3 to 1. I think with most things.
Or 300 damage versus missiles 100. Although Ridley takes double damage from supers, and several bosses do. I don't think Mother Brain does, so it actually takes 60 full supers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fantoon's one of them, but Fantoon has that big issue, should you happen to hit it with a super, where it wastes 20 seconds of your time for your trouble. It is always nice having a sword on Pyramid Ledge, especially in a mode like this, whenever, you can just be told about it, and once you get here, you just pick it up, and free cannon, just like that.
Yeah, although it's a bit out of the way, Aussie didn't even bother picking it up. It is very helpful against cannon, but if you're really good at the fight, it's pretty much just as fast to use Tempered Sword instead.
Yeah, if you already have the third one, then yeah, but...
Honestly, I would probably pick up Budget Sword just because I'm not the greatest at Ganon. I usually struggle to one-round it.
We just get done discussing it while Aussie's just getting done making bacon. With bacon. Put your single G's in chat for Aussie 101 at 91 minutes, not even.
Like they say, fight bacon with bacon. No one says that.
Maybe they will now. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Aussie's gonna go ahead and take the warp down to Lower Norfair this way. Or no, he's going to Meyer, I bet. Yep.
Might as well, it's got a lot of time to kill.
Fastest way to Ridley.
That's kind of the nice thing about co-op is the whole luck factor. It kind of just evens out between your team, because one player is gonna get lucky, so you both get lucky.
Yeah, it definitely reduces the time. You are, as you mentioned a while ago, more subject to low percent strats, but again, faster is the way of the world.
Oh, I was wrong. It was someone else that did Ridley. Rossi has not done it yet. Okay.
Yeah, he's spent so much time in Zelda. It's just how it shook out. But I did not see. Of course, we're all good at seeing the big red screen, but not what happened right prior. So I did not catch what happened to Farfield either. Whatever it was in the overworld.
$55 supers, if I'm reading that right, on Aussie's end. That's gonna be plenty. It would like a 60th, but it's fine.
Yeah, he's gonna do some Zeb skips and hit his shots.
It was kind of nice on the way down this room. You can just screw attack the red key hunters, and that reduces considerable lag. If you get through this room and you just keep all of them alive, the frame rate slows to a crawl when you're planning a power bomb.
Yeah, if you happen to have plasma ice, it ain't terrible. Which actually, I don't think anybody picked plasma up, did they?
Nope, hasn't been found.
So screw attack will make up for that, but and the super missiles of shame to top off at 60. Not that anybody's gonna pass those ones up. Just in case your math or your aim, either one of which is a little bit off.
I kind of wonder after. Oh, it was Solsky that did Ridley, I think. After Ridley, I wonder if it would be faster to backtrack to Meyer area, and then just reset to get to the ship.
Yeah, I always ask myself that question, and I haven't actually timed it. I need to do that, but Aussie's one of the best, so we can see what he does and go with that, I think, for the time being.
Yeah, there's that option, or you could just go to Norfair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you're going through Bubble Mountain and all that, but yeah.
I was gonna try to go backwards last race, and I just autopiloted out the normal exit. So I was like, all right. And then I was going through the Frog Speedway, and I didn't have Speed Booster, so I was just trying to glitch through. And then I clipped partly into a block and just stopped suddenly, and I soft locked there. That was unfortunate. So then I had a second opportunity. So I actually did go back to towards the Mari area, and then I ran out of supers and failed the gate glitch.
Yeah, that's never a good feeling after you, especially after you spend a bunch of them at Ridley. Hey, who wants to farm leaving, right?
Mm-hmm. He is going left, okay.
Yeah. Now, Lava Dive, well, it's just going to wall jump up the side. That ain't too bad.
And nice little moonfall there as well to top it off. So Moonwalk is a feature in the game that pretty much nobody seriously used for the longest time, and then it was discovered that it has a quirk where if you're moonwalking and then you jump for exactly 1 frame, and then you just avoid platforms on the way down, you just accumulate more and more speed uncapped.
Yeah, actually, first time I saw that, I thought it was a wonder that the room managed to load in time. Even though some of the collision mechanics do not.
Well, you're just moving so fast that you bypass the collision between frames. And you'll notice a lot of the graphics get screwed up as well.
Yeah, I actually remember that. You say that when you did it Sports Spawn, you get some extra blocks, but I do like how Aussie didn't even have to think about the gate glitch. Just automatic. When he was coming back toward the warp, so just like that, he's gonna be hitting the mother brain. He can be done here about $1:45. With the ice beam in tow. I don't know if I've ever seen this.
Right, so chat's pointing out that Farfaloo is short on ammo for Mother Brain. However, I'm guessing they haven't been to Gauntlet. I'm assuming their partner did, so they might know that there are just 10 supers waiting for them right before Mother Brain, right before Torian.
Yeah, that'll be 50, 80 plus whatever's on the way out of here. I didn't make a note of it, but it's still a little close. So it might necessitate a refill after this Mother Brain tank, but I'm not sure, honestly.
Always love these seeing top players go through these Metroid rooms. It looks so good.
Yeah, I guess this is where I'm just deficient, I guess, because sometimes I think I'm doing just fine in Metroid, and then I start watching this stuff. I'm no secret way better at Zelda than this.
Yeah, I basically have to stop in place and toggle to my weapons to kill each Metroid. It's making me wonder if I should change my control scheme. I don't know. Everyone uses a different control scheme.
Yeah, these guys here, a lot of them use something wildly different, like closer to default than what I do with the beam shots being on X. Nice baby skip from Aussie. That was close.
Nah, that is a little too close. Unfortunately, he did get grabbed at the last possible moment as the screen was fading out, so now he has baby slow for the rest of... he might save and reset to get rid of it, but yeah, he's kind of stuck, just very slowly progressing here.
Yeah, I pieced that together just after I realized he took the hit after getting out of the room, but save point.
Yeah, I always continue holding my breath after the door transition, just in case.
So, only time you see the save point used, but there you go.
Yeah, and technically, this is a point of no return since he had already beaten Ganon. You cannot escape the... You cannot escape Torian. Although I think there might actually be some way to clip through doors and X-ray climb out, but I don't know, that seems really tricky.
Yeah, not sure of the legality of that either, but it was not an issue given that this is the last task here.
But even if you're playing casually, it's kind of a pitfall. A lot of vanilla Super Metroid players get into in their first time. As one person who hates being spoiled on things and doesn't want any information at all before she plays, but that was something she needed to know. I made sure to let her know that you cannot get anything else once you save there.
Yeah, if you play a multi-world where you could have items for your teammates, they make sure to let you know that if you save there, you could be running into trouble.
Didn't quite have enough energy to go for the... well... Actually, stand-up glitch is completely unnecessary. Completely pointless when you don't have charge beam. I keep trying to do it anyway. Like, not even realizing I can't make use of it.
Practice is practice. Anytime you can get it.
Every run is a practice run.
Especially with that lovely tank count as well of 7. Now, everybody else on our restream is either in GT or past it, so y'all gonna get out of here early tonight. We should figure out who rolled his seed and give him a sticker. Solsky with the gain and kill. Get your GG, or run, never mind, 1G in chat for Solsky at 1 hour 43 minutes, 50 seconds.
That's 2 collective Gs for the team so far.
Yep, we need a 4G. Meantime, the rest of the world's working on to 5G, but that's okay. We play 30-year-old games. We can handle it. First LTE wins, yeah. Bet you Samus doesn't even carry a cell phone.
It's probably built into the helmet. Which itself is, I don't know, is some kind of biologic material.
Space Google came up with it.
Like the suit is basically some kind of extension or something.
Do the moonfall. There it is. Like, what does it really save? A second and a half, but I mean,
yeah,
gotta do it.
So the qualifiers are using the average time of the teams for the seeding, but during the tournament, it's going to be first team to finish.
As Aussie gets himself through the last room of Planet Farts, get your double G's in chat for Aussie 101, finishing with an official race time.gg time of 1:45:43.
GG.
Solsky just getting into Turian, so give him another 7 or 8 minutes, and we're still talking about a pretty darn good time. Seemingly lost MM2, at least for the moment. Not sure what happened there, working on that. It's an interesting place to take a baby head. I don't know that I've done that one before.
I kind of wonder if it would be worth using a crystal flash to recover from getting baby grabbed. But definitely not in this situation because they want to conserve their supers. But if you had charge beam, maybe.
Yeah, that's making me just once again realizing Solski's only got 4 tanks. This isn't going to be an issue for him, but that's not something I'd be brave enough to try.
Does he have any reserve tanks and just on manual, maybe?
Probably 1 or 2.
So it's 48 missiles and 44 supers. Ought to do it. Might as well use all your missiles.
Alrighty, and we are now joined by Aussie 101. GG's to you.
Hey, GG.
That was, you blink, you miss it the whole game, huh?
Heck and quick seed.
That's not something I've ever seen before. Like, that being said, admittedly, between that fact and watching 4 runners, and fortunately Solski
Oh no.
takes a death there, yeah. But
Polski's death. He got a little pressured by the Andy team finish.
yeah, we're gonna bring that up a little later, but in fact, actually, I don't think you're supposed to be here. I think we're breaking a rule here, but
Oops, we're
okay.
sequence breaking.
I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to check MM2's feed because we don't have him on here at all. I was trying to see if his was live at all.
It's unfortunate we never found charge beam, but at the same time, there was so much left to check. There's just so much you just didn't need to do at all.
And fast is a big limiter is your weaponry. This one we happen to get, we found all the swords and silvers, so good on Link to the Past side. But then on Super Metroid side, we were looking for ammo the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely saw you checking a lot of chests on the way up Ganon's tower. Like even passing up the big key and just continuing onward.
Turns out I could have stopped a while ago on the ammo hunt. I did want to find ammo for Solski too.
Yeah.
A little bit of safety isn't a terrible idea, but when those other dot-duns come in, becomes kind of a distraction. I can understand that. So MM2, his stream's offline, whether it's technical issues or something else, I'm not sure, but it's advised that they keep a local recording, so I'm sure that that's something that he'll be able to use here after this, because he does have, and I guess we can mention it even with the delay, a finish time of 1:56:50. As Farfalu's teammate just gets Ganon done just now, and is going to go ahead and do Turing and Mother Brain.
So how soon did y'all recognize you were in go mode? Is it kind of like immediate realization where you're just kind of hunting for specific items?
So I wasn't really paying attention at all. But then as soon as Solsky found the sand pits, he noticed, like, after he got the flippers and did the loop around, but before I got to it. So I didn't have... yeah, it's a really fast go mode.
Yeah, I've never seen a standalone Z3 seed of 51 minutes. I mean,
Well,
152 out of 316. So yeah, I mean,
like, it was full Dark World go mode.
Yeah, with the late pendants especially, we figured that out a little late, but. Solsty's gonna go ahead and save here. It's a good idea for sure. You don't want to have to do that a third time.
Oh, Farfaloo, unfortunately, missing the positioning for the gauntlet, the back of gauntlet, and going down the right side and missing those last supers. They do have 50 supers, so they're only gonna need another 30 missiles. And that would have been nice, though.
Yeah, part of what I mean by the anti-team pressure is that Solsky wanted to take a safety save, just because low health, and but he didn't because just wanted to finish that much faster, and
I
it ended
see.
up costing us a lot.
You can afford to get away with it in quals. It's hard. I can't track, how things actually are versus, I have to do the 10-minute math every time I think about why things happen. But yeah.
Well, winning isn't enough. You have to win more.
Yeah, in this seed we were playing for like world record co-op time.
No.
So Solsky was saying that the previous time was about 158. But now it's lower than that after this race.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really early go mode.
Have there been no pendant dips required, like no croc required, like not even Super Metroid pendants required? Have there been seeds like that?
That's how you get the super fast seeds.
Did anybody even do Upper Norfair? I don't think.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think I'll see. Maybe you did a little bit of. I think you did Bubble Mountain. Maybe I'm looking at someone else.
Solsky did. He did Lord Norfair Escape and the speed checks. That was it.
Nothing else. So yeah.
Yeah, I only checked high jump. Yeah, even for super fast seeds, this is probably the fewest checks that I can think of.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Because it's like no Dark World, go mode all of your Dark World dungeons, no pendants, and no Upper Norfair, go mode Lower Norfair, pretty much.
Yeah, you had 152 out of 316 checks, less than half.
And plus, Ice Palace being the deepest Dark World dungeon, you had Nits early. You didn't even need the cane, but you had it. So that alleviates any issues with GT right off the bat.
Farfaloo might be cutting it a little close. Is that? I think that's 48 supers. I think he accidentally used a super on the red door at the end. How many missiles is it for Mother Brain 1? Is it 30?
It's 36.
36. Yeah, that's enough.
So
Yeah, that's enough.
including glass, or I'm not actually
Yep.
sure.
Including glass.
Yeah, the glass is an interesting property. The glass itself needs to be destroyed in order to beat the first phase of Mother Brain, and it has a separate amount of health that just it just counts how many shots you do, and it doesn't matter whether it's supers or missiles. So, although hits on the brain itself do count as hits on the glass as well, so that helps.
Mhm. Just make a hole and poke through it. I mean, I'm not saying it took me 20 years to figure that out. Solsky getting done with the escape. And on the ship with an official racetime.gg time of, once I lose it, 1:58:54. So GG's to Solsky, and we will try to get him in here in short order.
Oh, cutting a bit close, Farfalu. Missed, I think 2 supers and a couple of missiles. Just enough, I think.
Oh my god, yeah, we're good. Wow.
That's scary.
Anywho, in between, we'll cut grass for rupees finish. And yeah, I guess if it's total time, then officially first place goes to Team Farts, Andy and Ivan, with a completed time of 1:50:59. I'm sure, I think we were told this like 6 times, but you know, at least how it works.
Yeah, even still, even with death, this second place is a really solid showing.
Yeah, we'll make note in a few minutes here when Farfley gets up, but with the runners in these qualifiers, you're going to see a lot of close finishes.
Yeah. Death to Mother Brain is pretty tilting, but it's still a really good time.
Mhm.
It's still sub 2 hours. That's really strong.
Yeah, when you play low percent as is necessary with co-op, you run the risk, and it's going to happen to anybody.
Yeah, our last few seeds, like I'm the one that finds all the E-tanks, and so then Solsky has to finish the game out on like 3 or 4.
Mhm.
Yeah, how like do you guys like make sure to like write down or something where you're finding the E-tanks?
Yep, we do. Not so much hearts, but E-tanks, yeah.
Especially after there have been so many tournaments with hard item pool for Zelda 3. There's been a lot of low heart finishes, a lot of low heart required seeds.
And there's that difference in the fact that, your so-called armor in Super Metroid has functionality, meaning that you are more than likely going to end up with it, but there's nothing that says that you have to have mail in Zelda, so
Exactly.
that even that being said, yeah, you can get beat up in Metroid pretty good if you're not careful.
And with that, Farfaloo finishes with a official racetime.gg time of 2:03:03.
That will go ahead and where's it at? It's going to close out Team Will Cut Grass for Rupees. So we can also mention that. Actually, what can we mention? Aster and Polar Bear Bunny of Team Bear Pair are finished in a time of 2 hours and 20 seconds. What else am I seeing?
You also got Team Corndog, I believe, finishing. Was that? Did they both finish?
Yeah,
they
did.
both finished.
Yeah. 2 hours.
Oh, I was rating the top one.
Yeah, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 22 seconds. Died in Hype Cave, Zempt, and the Blue Crayon are finished in 2:07:20. And because of the nature of this, I'm not sure what order this is right now, so I'm sorry, but I think that's it for now. Everybody else has single finishers done. I guess I don't know about MM2 with the whole stream thing, but we'll see if we can at least get Farfaloo in here for a little chat.
I feel like this was a pretty big contrast to the first qualifier. The first one seemed pretty darn slow. I think wasn't the first place finish like 2:36 or something last week?
I myself am not sure. I entirely missed that week. I can look, I think.
Yeah.
And we are joined by Farfaloo. Welcome.
GG's.
Hi, thanks, GG.
How'd you like that seed?
Well, I've never seen a Go mode sub hour before. That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, it felt good all the whole race, except by the end. I start making weird decision looking for ammo. I said Go mode sub hour, but I was still looking for ammo, and we did not really call supers in the early game because in SMZ3 it's so rare you are in ammo mode. So that's why, yes, I checked the more things in Ganon Tower for nothing and got pissed with the bad pattern for Aghanim and Ganon at the end and made a little mistakes, but that was nice overall. I've never finished in 203 before in the SMZ3, so yeah, I'm still good with that.
Yeah, when you get into Go mode that fast, you're gonna run into stuff that you just aren't practiced with. I mean, who practices for this stuff? So, you're not going to spend time ammo hunting every seed until something like this comes up. But
no, and we're just looking in the more dense location. We're not going to start looking a few sparse checks like Waterway or I don't know, things like that. So that's why I continued in Ganon Tower. I was hoping, at least in the randomizer room, finding something, but did not happen.
It was Moldorm too.
And yeah, Moldorm
it.
had, at least Moldorm had, and I did not know at the end of Gauntlet. I remember MM2 telling me there was supers at middle of Gauntlet, but we did not talk about the end of Gauntlet because, like I said, we never need supers that much in SMZ3, so I just went through the back of Gauntlet as fast as I could and miss the more supers that way. Would have been a safer mother brain, and I would maybe save a few seconds not going back to the missile refill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just 5, so you don't want to have to redo it. But sometimes that's just what you need. But like you said, a 203 is nothing to shake a stick at, as we would say.
Yeah, if we're not disqualified with MM2 stream, but let's see what admin thinks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. It's unfortunate. Yeah, you kind of have to keep OBS running for the whole 10-minute.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. It does not record with OBS, but I'm not good with that stuff. But yeah, on my end of the stream, I could heard the Mother Brain fight and the escape. I know he did, but yeah, there's no record on his computer for that.
That's unfortunate.
I didn't do a local. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
Well, still, it's just qualifier. It doesn't boot you out of the tournament necessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's 2 other race.
yeah, I was gonna say, as long as you have the time to do it, you have some throwaway opportunities. So.
Yeah, just do better. Easy.
For sure.
With that, any other thoughts on the seed, or in general?
No, I think it was right to have a very open seed like that in co-op. That was nice to get real fast go mode, and just thank you for the restream, for comments and tracking. Thank you to make this possible, and those who work behind the scene. It's very appreciated.
Yeah, we had a good team tonight. Thank you very much, Scoopula, for joining me on commentary.
Thank you for helping me through. I don't, do this much as I mentioned, but hopefully it went well. I don't know if I want to watch it back right away, but
It went pretty well. And thanks, Bright Beginner and Mad Ewok for filling in for tracking. It's a very difficult task. I have trouble with that one myself. I usually stick to talking.
yeah, SMZ3 can be iffy whenever you got about a half a second to see every item. So yeah, it's hard.
And thanks, Speed Gaming staff, and thanks to the runners for putting on such a good show tonight. And yeah, next week, Sunday is the next race, 3 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah, it'll be another hard logic qualifier at 3 p.m. on Sunday Eastern. I'm gonna find it. We also do weekly races, and we could always use the help with tracking and comms, by the way. So if you are interested in doing any of this, feel free to check out the Discord or the website at speedgaming.org, and you'll find what you're looking for. So thank you again, Jagger, and thank you to all our runners, GG's, and hope y'all have a good night and a happy Tuesday.
See you next mission.